Well, welcome Oakland County to our COVID-19 update for August 20th. We're pleased to be here in West Bloomfield School with School Superintendent in West Bloomfield, Gerald Hill, and Oakland County Commissioner Kristen Nelson. We're here at Abbott Middle School in West Bloomfield. Today, Commissioner Nelson, who not only represents this area, but is also a graduate of West Bloomfield Schools and this school, by the way, she and I are delivering N-95 masks to the principals and their teachers. Bloomfield Schools has significant surgical masks for their students and most of the staff to begin the school year, but they were having difficulty acquiring the precious N-95 masks for staff in specific positions and circumstances. So a school board member, Carol Finkelstein, turned to Commissioner Nelson for help because she sits on our county's Pandemic Response and Economic Recovery Committee. So Commissioner Nelson, that request prompted you, to take action. Commissioner, what happened next?
So at the beginning of this week, as you've kind of mentioned, West Bloomfield Board of Education trustee, Mrs. Carol Finkelstein, had contacted me in regards to concerns of not having N95 masks for teachers at the start of the school year. And with the first day of school, just now a little bit less than 1 week away, it was essential that we get these N95 masks in the hands of teachers before school started. And so immediately I contacted our executive office and expressed that we must make sure that our teachers are starting the school year with these essential tools. And I'm so proud of how quickly and promptly we were able to pull this together and make sure that our teachers have these masks before school starts. As a former public educator myself, I know all the hard work and the range of emotions that we as teachers can experience leading into the first day of school, and that's in a typical circumstance. Yes. Pair that now with all these challenges and differences in complexities to an already complex role that teachers play. It was even more imperative that we get these masks into the hands of our teachers before school started. And here we are today, making sure that our teachers are going to start their school year with the proper tools that they need to keep themselves and students safe as we reopen in-person instruction.
Well, I really appreciate that. And these N95s, they continue to be difficult to get. We've had a difficulty from the beginning of the pandemic in securing the supplies and PPE we need. We have a much better handle on most of it, but these I know continue to be very difficult. And it also reminds me, because I used to be a county commissioner, of the important role that you and your fellow commissioners play, because we can have the equipment, but you're the eyes and ears in your communities. You understand what's going on. We don't know unless you help bring us these issues to our attention.
Absolutely, and I want to give a gracious thank you for Mrs. Finkelstein for reaching out and bringing this concern up, because without having that coordination and that collaboration with all members of our community, sometimes we don't know there's a need for things. So I greatly appreciate the leadership of Mrs. Finkelstein in regards to reaching out to us to get teachers the tools they need to safely reopen for in-person instruction.
Thank you, Commissioner. I really do appreciate your leadership in getting these masks to West Bloomfield Schools. Now, I mentioned before, Dr. Gerald Hill is here with me. He is the superintendent of the West Bloomfield Schools. Dr. Hill, first just tell us a little bit about the challenge your district encountered, maybe obtaining these N95 masks. Let's start there.
So thanks for being here, Mr. Coulter and Commissioner, for this precious gift so we can practice safety and health of our staff and students. According to my business manager, who's in the audience, we are still having a difficult time acquiring N95 masks, because most of these masks are designated for medical professions. Yeah. And with school starting, there's going to be a big demand for school personnel. We have looked in a lot of places, and we have some, but we can use any we can get. We have a lot of medically fragile students who sometimes can't wear a mask when they're working with the teachers, so those teachers will be wearing them. We also have medical parapros who work, and they'll be working in our isolation rooms should that be needed. And they definitely will have to have masks and PPE.
Yeah.
It's greatly appreciated.
Total makes sense. Now, I understand that most of your teachers will be wearing the surgical masks, right? But as you said, some will require the N-95 masks. So since we're here, I think West Bloomfield has a reputation as being a very innovative and flexible and quality district. How, since I've got you, how is the opening looking? How is it different for you, and what are the challenges beyond the N-95 masks that you see here?
Yeah, well, this is a big challenge, and part of the solution are these masks, but our staff, our teachers, our principals, our curriculum specialists, our operations staff, we have been working tirelessly since March, actually, but seriously since June for the opening.
Yeah.
And there are so many factors to consider. And as you know, the guidelines vary depending on who's giving the guidelines, whether it's the CDC, the State Health Department, the Oakland County Health Department. And from my opinion, there's a lot of flexibility in the guidelines. Mm-hmm. That's problematic because there are a lot of choices. And so we're going to be relying on our advice from the medical professionals on a lot of the areas. We have the educational aspects covered. We have a dynamic Lakers Online program, which is totally virtual. We gave our parents a choice. They could choose to go totally online or the hybrid in K-8. High school is another matter. That's all online. There was just no way to physically socially distance and go through the schedule with all of the movement within a high school. So they're starting grades 9 to 12 all online. But I just need to, again, just compliment the staff because they have done outstanding work in preparing for this coming Wednesday.
Yeah, great. Well, I just want to thank you again, Dr. Hill. I'm really pleased we could fulfill this request for you in a timely manner. And credit also belongs to Oakland County's Emergency Ops Center and the team of professionals that we have there. During this crisis, their job has been to coordinate requests from local governments, schools, first responders, hospitals for supplies and personnel. Throughout this pandemic, they have impressed me because of their tireless work to meet the demands of our local governments and other organizations, and it's been very difficult. Now, as the school year begins, if you are having difficulty finding or buying certain supplies for your schools or still your business or your organization, I encourage you to please feel free to reach out to our Emergency Operations Center. Their email is oakeoc@oakgov.com. That's oakeoc@oakgov.com. And we'll put that email in the comment section below. Oakland County is supporting our school districts as they prepare for a safe and start of the school year. In fact, today we're launching a tool that will help parents, teachers, and school administrators hopefully better understand the spread of COVID-19 in their communities. We're going to be adding a map to our dashboard on our website that will indicate confirmed and probable coronavirus cases by school district boundary. So again, if you go to oakgov.com and that's /COVID, you can find a link to that map, which we'll be placing also in the comments below. The Health Division is also holding weekly meetings with school superintendents to discuss the latest data, the metrics, and the guidance for mitigating the spread of the illness. We're also deploying public health nurses to schools throughout Oakland County to assist them on plans to begin the school year safely and work with them throughout these critical first semesters. Plus, we've also established a school response team in the Health Division who will support the schools when they have timely issues. So, such as a confirmed coronavirus case in a classroom, you'll have an immediate person to call. As of yesterday, there were almost 13,000 total confirmed COVID-19 cases in Oakland County since this began. Over 1,100 individuals have died from complications of this dreadful disease, and 9,500 have recovered. We continue to get dozens of new coronavirus cases reported to us every day. That is why it's so vital that as we begin our new school year, we take every measure we can to prevent further spread of coronavirus among our communities and our schools. So friends, that wraps up today's update. I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank you for our friends at West Bloomfield for reaching out and letting us join you today. Remember that wearing a mask, practicing social distancing, and the good hygiene is still until we have a vaccine, the best way that we can slow and stop the spread of coronavirus in our county. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again soon.